Cheers everyone, welcome to today's video. And in this video, I'm going to share with you an exact step-by-step really scene that you can use in the Neville Goddard SATS process so that you can encompass all of your goals in one imaginable scene. A lot of people that use this technique, picking out a scene or developing a scene, there's confusion around this and how can we combine multiple desires into one scene. So by the end of this video, you'll have a scene that you can literally copy and paste and use for yourself. You can also make slight adjustments and tweaks to it for your own situation, but this really encompasses the general major desires that we all have. So if you're not familiar with this whole process, it's basically as you fall asleep at night, because the subconscious mind is the most receptive in the alpha, theta brainwave states. And a lot of the time that is leveraging that time right before we fall asleep or right when we wake up in the morning. A lot of people also do this after lunch. Maybe you're having like an afternoon, maybe you take a little power nap. Thomas Edison used to come up with his ideas in the afternoon by entering into a drowsy, sleepy state. It's really up to you, but a lot of people use this right before they go to bed. And SAT standing for the state akin to sleep, which means the alpha theta brainwave state. Also, other practices that people talk about like visualizing and robotic affirming, and this is a visualization process, are helpful because they help you kind of get, like robotic affirming helps you get into that kind of hypnotic state. It's really a trance-like state that we're entering into when we do and engage in this process. So the one thing that really ties this together and will make this work is by picking a scene. And generally speaking, most people, they want, their finances to be where they want them to be, right? They want their person. People call it the SP in the Neville Goddard communities. That's what everyone calls it. And you want that state of health. You want that ability. Maybe you want time. You want location freedom. So this scene that you're going to imagine, you want to encompass all of these things, all these different desires in one scene. So what you can do is, generally speaking, you want the scene to be like a 5 to 10 second loop. You don't want it to make it too complicated because then it's hard to loop it in your mind as a kind of process that's just easy to imagine, right, on repeat. And there's so many different ways of doing this. I go into different ways of doing this in my book, talking about inner conversations you can have. That's one technique as well, is imagining a conversation that you're having. But for the scene that we're talking about today, you're going to be, and again, this could be dependent on what your goal is. If you have it as your dream house, you're going to be in the house. You're going to be in the kitchen or wherever it might be that you're looking at all of the scenery that you want, right? That's desirable, new, great room, kitchen that you've been wanting, the type of countertops that you've been wanting, the nice high ceilings. You're going to imagine all of this, right? And you're going to look down at yourself. You're going to be holding onto your phone, looking down at your body, seeing yourself having a nice toned physique, looking exactly how you want to look. And you're going to actually imagine as well that there's a mirror there. And it could be, so maybe you're in, maybe there's just a mirror. There happens to be a mirror in the main room, or maybe this could also be, let's say that your goal is to travel. So you're going to look at the mirror in your hotel room, right? But the mirror helps empower this, because what we're going to do is we're going to combine first-person visualization and third-person visualization. And it's a very powerful technique. So you're going to look at yourself, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to be holding your phone. Why are you holding your phone? Because you're going to be getting notifications, either notifications from your payment processor, which might be PayPal, it might be Stripe, or you are going to be simply looking at your bank balance on your app and seeing the bank balance that you've been desiring. In addition to this, I know this sounds like a lot, but once you condense it into a scene, it'll be very easy for you to experience this. You're going to imagine your SP, and it's going to be a general visualization. You don't have to get super detailed with exactly who it is, but it's going to be the type of person that you want, like the type of person that maintains and has the qualities and the traits of what you're looking for in a person. And you're going to imagine both of you in the mirror looking at yourselves admiringly. So you're going to be looking fit, they're going to be looking fit, you're going to be holding your phone. Maybe after you do that, you scroll and then you take a photo of yourselves. But this entire scene, basically, the goal is that you look how you want to look. Your partner is there with you. Your bank balance is saying the number that you want to be seeing on the screen, or you're just consistently getting notifications so that, let's say that you're working towards a business, you want to build some sort of time, location freedom. You're making money and you are in this reality. Again, it could be that it's in your dream home. Maybe that's your goal, or it could be that you are in a hotel or a room in a resort somewhere. You could also do this. You don't have to do the mirror technique if you don't want to. You could imagine that your toes are in the sand and there's white sand and you're outside on the beach with your person. And you're still getting the notifications on your phone or the bank balance or whatever. But I like the mirror technique. You can experiment around with this. The thing is that a lot of people talk about how important it is to visualize in the first person. I also think that it's very powerful to visualize in the third person as well, because that way you get to see and perceive how you look towards yourself and others, like how others perceive the way that you look. And if you're working on your physique, whatever, you get to see how you look, how you stand, your body language, all of that in the mirror. Even you're as a person, like what kind of facial expression, that maybe you're having that nice confident smile, that confident grin that you just can't help but just like have that slight grin, feeling satisfied with yourself at this reality that you've created for yourself. So it's really dependent. And again, you can tweak it to what you want, but using those couple different examples, whether it's in your dream home, whether you're on the beach, whether you're in the hotel room, you're going to have these facets of this, which includes you holding your phone, seeing the bank balance, looking at your body, looking in the mirror, if you're in the mirror context, or just looking down at your body if you're on the beach or somewhere, wherever it might be. Maybe there's a certain destination that you've been wanting to travel to. Maybe it's Barcelona. Maybe you've been wanting to be on the Amalfi Coast. So you imagine like all those little houses that are on the beach there, right, in the Amalfi Coast. Or you imagine that margarita pizza that you're looking over the veranda and you're looking into the eyes of the person, right? And you guys are maybe cheersing a glass of wine, right? But it's just about getting that tactile sensation of all these things. And with the phone, scrolling on the phone to see your payments coming in that are really going to make this scene very tangible in a way that you feel it. You maybe are smelling the sensations. Maybe you're smelling the salt water. Maybe you are smelling the new furniture in the home. You're feeling it, you are seeing it, you are hearing it, you're hearing the sounds, you're experiencing it on this visceral level to where it's really, really making and impressing your subconscious mind so that when you fall asleep in that state, you're falling asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled, like Neville Goddard talks about. And now you are opening yourself up to, in the morning, perhaps get some inspired action, perhaps just start to see more and more evidence for this timeline being more and more possible in your reality. Because now you're not going to sleep with all the worries of the day and the fears and the anxiety. That's what we tend to do if we don't take control, conscious control over that period before we go to sleep at night. And that's what Neville Goddard talks about, is that if you don't take control of this, you're going to repeat the same type of day, and the same type of doubts and worries and concerns is going to create your new day and your next day and your next day. So it's about us taking this time to really imprint and impress with this scene that we choose. And let me know down below your guys' experience with the SATS process. Do you guys have your own particular scenes that you've seen success with before? Have you experienced, literally there's certain things that I have manifested that have come about in these very, like I can give you guys a couple examples right now, but one of them was at the time I was living in LA and I really wanted to become friends with a big YouTuber. So I would imagine that it wasn't like any particular person. Again, it was just, I wanted to become friends with somebody that was making YouTube videos. I've had an interest in making YouTube videos. I always wanted to have, make friends that were also doing the same type of thing, making content. And so there was this one day where on the promenade, if you're familiar with LA, there's the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. And I was just walking by one day and I see this guy and he's like talking to these girls, but I can see that he's got this vlogging camera with him. And I'm like, it's like an interesting scene because the girls are like, kind of like, they're into the conversation. And then the guy, he's just like, it's very clear that he was shooting some type of content. I didn't know if they were involved in the content or what was going on. But I went up to him after they were done talking introduced myself, and turns out he was doing these prank videos, and he was a YouTuber, and he had millions and millions of subscribers. And over the course of the next few months, we became friends, and like pretty good friends. I helped him record these prank videos. We went to some different like exclusive events around LA. We went on some photo shoots and stuff, and it was just a good time. But the scene that I had used to impress, and it was a combination of the scene, but it was also just like, yeah, like I'm gonna meet somebody. It was kind of like the robotic affirming process that people talk about. And my book down below in the description is all about how to take control over your self-talk, how to practice robotic affirming, how to really control that internal narrative of what's going on inside, as far as what the stories going on inside of your head. But the scene that I had impressed my subconscious with for this particular thing was just that I was walking around and I was going different places and shooting content with somebody else who's on YouTube and just being friends with that person. It wasn't anyone. It was like combinations of us going on shoots together, us recording content together. And again, it wasn't a particular person that I had imagined. It was just these types of scenes that I would play in my mind. There's another one, which I'll share right before I wrap this video up. And that is being recognized in public for my videos. And the scene for that was somebody coming up to me and being like, yo, are you Alex? And me looking up, being in wherever it was in the mall or wherever we were, and being like, yeah. And then being like, dude, like I recognize you on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. And that was the scene, short, simple scene. And what happened was at the gym, I was at the gym one day. I was with my girl at the time. We're not together anymore. But this dude comes up to me and the exact words were, hey, are you Alex? And I look up and I'm like, yeah. And he's just like, oh, like, dude, I know this is kind of random, or I know this, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, I've seen your YouTube channel. I've been watching you on YouTube, and we just started talking. And actually that guy, you can see his name's Connor. He's a friend now, and you can see my video interviewing him down below if you check with the channel. It's one of the more popular videos on the channel about how he was able to manifest his SP back, how he was able to get his ex back. And so I had this interview with him and stuff. But those are just a couple examples that I can give you guys of me utilizing this process. And I wanted to share this with you because as over time, I've kind of learned more, refined the process. And I really think this is going to be very powerful, what I've outlined for you as far as the process that I've given you in terms of combining all these multiple desires. Those other things were very specific. I gave you the example of meeting a YouTuber or somebody recognizing me in public. And you can do those for the specific things. But if you want this really all-encompassing scene that's really going to encompass what a lot of us really want, some of the major goals, like the major 3 health, wealth, relationships goals that a lot of us want, give this a try. Let me know how it works for you. And like I said down below, let me know any techniques that you've used, any specific scenes that you've used that have manifested into reality, any different advice or kind of suggestions that you guys might have based on your own experience. Would love to hear it. With that being said, much love as always. Drop this video with a like, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.